late night, early morning live. How's everybody doing this morning? For you late night owls out there, those that are tuning in on Restream, Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. Hope everybody's having a wonderful evening. There we go. We all shared out here on Spiritual Cryptid Encounters. Oh, let me rephrase that. Uh, we're here live on Spiritual Entity and Cryptid Encounters. Need to get used to the new name that I placed on here. We got Andres. Yeah, I decided to do a late night live, 30 minutes, maybe an hour. I don't know. Depends when I start feeling a little bit tired. Watch the basketball. Watch the New York Knicks beat the Spurs for the championship. Think all that is rigged up, man. So it's like I was trying to remember why I stopped watching basketball, and that's why. Because for those that are into sports and play, when you play, you shoot, you're a good shooter, you're gonna make the basket. You're not gonna. I understand you might make some, you might miss some, but these guys get paid book of money to either make a shot or miss a shot. But besides that, congratulations to the New York Knicks because that's what they wanted to win. So congratulations to them. Who do we got here? We got we got the regular night crawlers that come out. Yes, I can see your brother, Lau Morgan. Yeah, yeah, it's rigged up. It's all about the Benjamins, man. That's what that is about. It's like you should let really people play. I mean, any sport is rigged, even boxing, any sport you can think of. That's how they rig them up. It's all about the money, the people that are betting money, the gamblers and stuff like that, the odds. That's no different than watching wrestling. Wrestling is fake. You already know who's going to win the match before they even wrestle. The spoiler alerts, just like this morning when I woke up early in the morning, I seen a thing that said there's going to be a new champion. There's going to be a new champion crowned today. As was this early in the morning. Uh, they said, "Don't miss it. They're going to be crowned today," and that's exactly what happened. Just like what it said early in the morning, like around 6:30 in the morning. Exactly what happened this afternoon. It's kind of like it's they got a pre-plan of who's going to win, who's going to win the championship before even the season starts. They already know who's going to be up there. Yeah, Yeah, it is what it is, man. It's like after what I seen the Fox throw literally miss the shots that he missed on purpose. Like he wasn't even trying to make them. As a shooter, because I can play basketball. I used to be pretty good. You could tell when somebody's shooting off, they're not trying to make the ball in the basket. So when they shoot the ball, they're going to either hit the rim, so it will go in, compared to trying to really make the shot. You can hit a banker, and he was literally missing the shots on purpose. Easy shots, man. He was missing them on purpose. That's how the other team caught up again. But it's all rigged. They know who's going to make it. They know who's going to win. I mean, that's how I see it as. I mean, these guys are getting paid millions of dollars just to play. You know, so they don't care. They don't care if they win or lose, so long they get the money that they're paying them. They're going to do the job that they got to do. And I've seen there's no way that the team was that good, man. No way. It's because they got paid off. The refs and the other team. They just did their job. The refs did their job, and the Spurs did their job to make it look as like realistic as possible. But everybody, people can tell that it was rigged. So no, it's crazy. It's crazy, but it is what it is. That's one of the reasons I stopped watching it. A lot of sports because of that. I see. Yeah. And the reason I say that other team is no good because there was like 2 or 3 games that they had a big lead over them, and then all of a sudden they catch up. Because it's rigged. It's rigged that way. The other team could be good as hell, and then they take the momentum away because they have to miss shots or they call penalties to bring the other team back into the game. I mean, that the one that they lost a 30-point lead, that's just about impossible. Is because it's rigged. Yeah, yeah. I was just making a early morning live just to see who are the night owls that are a lot awake right now. I was just relaxing. I slept most of the day, so I'm kind of like wide awake right now. Yeah, it's crazy, man. These guys that get paid millions of dollars. I was thinking about it. They get paid all this money, and they're like, "We'll see you next year." Whatever. Because they're professional athletes or whatever. But and then so I got a championship for the sport of basketball. Then I think about me getting underpaid as a soldier, and they're really utilizing me in war. At a young age of 19 and 20 years old when I was out there, and we really have to. That that's not rigged. That's the real deal there. Where either you destroy the enemy, or the enemy's going to destroy you, and there's no coming back from that. And that's why when I see like basketball, what they did there, it's like, man, that's some bullshit. Because in real life, you don't get a chance to come back to play for another season or nothing like that. In real life, some people make it back and some don't. There's no second chances. And if basketball is about that, or any sport is about that, that they have that's okay. We'll make you look better next year and all that's kind of BS. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, man. It's like disrespecting the veterans and stuff. I mean, I know that that's what they do, but I can play ball too. I used to play ball. I ain't saying I'm a professional basketball player because I'm not as tall as these guys, but I know because I've played the basketball and many other sports, and I know when somebody is throwing a game. That simple. Just like if I were to get in a fight, I would know if somebody is an experienced fighter, and when somebody is can't fight. Because I, I won a lot of Bendigo fights. I went undefeated, so I knew how to fight. And saying that, I played many games of basketball against, full court against many other people, and I know when the players are good, and then I know when people are throwing the game away. But it is what it is. New York finally got a championship after a 56 years drought. If the only I'm going to be honest with you, uh, the only reason they got the championship is because it was staged that way. That wasn't a real win. That was just because they hadn't had a championship over 50 something years. So the commissioner make that happen. That's not a real win. That's more like a paper chump. A paper champion, because the commissioner stages that way for them to win. That wasn't a real win. Or if basketball has always been staged that way, then the history of that is tainted. If it's not legit wins, because of the referees, or they already know who's the outcome of the championship. Well, this what is it? What is that really? Is it really the trophy mean that much? Especially if it's staged or faked. You know, it's kind of like me. When I went to combat, I did what I had to do. And Operation Desert Storm, fought in the Battle of Medina Ridge, and we survived that. So we're the ones that were victorious over liberating Kuwait. You know, and no, I would look to the left, I look to my right. And I had my brother, combat brothers, back. Out there in combat, and because we knew that it was a matter of life or death. We even prayed before we went out there to combat. And then, is it no, to me, I guess it's just entertainment. You know, this like the NBA, the NFL, the boxing, or any other sport that's tainted that way. It's just entertainment for the people to see, and more or less they already know the outcome out of it, and there's betting going on. It's kind of like going to those horse races that it'll be to the last horse that's all of a sudden comes and passes all the other horses, because the jockeys are not running the horse how they're supposed to be. They're not giving it the full, so the other guy speeds up, and they win. He wins. Is the one that's in the back that goes and beats everybody, because all of a sudden it gets energy and it passes all the other horses. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, so much about that. At least I know the wrestling is fake. That it's staged. It's entertainment or whatever. You already know more or less what's going to happen before that happens. I'm just talking in general. When you see things like that, whether it's sports, politics, you more or less knows what's going to happen. Because there's always always something behind everything that people do. When it comes down to that, I say, okay, they're going to make it this turn. Let's do some game series, but they didn't. The think a long time ago the Spurs beat them 4-1. So say, okay, it's time for us to uh, beat the Spurs 4-1. I don't know, man. But that's life, right? You know, a lot of things that you wonder is almost the same as that. It's a rigged sport, just like the things that we see, like in whether it be spiritual, DDN, cryptid, or paranormal, whatever encounters. Some of them are legit, and then you got some of them that are deceptive. There are some of them that people are playing you. You can tell who are the people that are playing the people. Um, some of the footage that they have, or the things they capture or supposedly captured is either AI or people in costume. We've seen a lot of the people that are being deceptive in the cryptic community. That's one of the reasons when I started seeing all the deceptiveness in the cryptic communities. But even before that, when I already faced what I faced at Elms Grove and all the other things that I faced in my life, the DDN, I already knew that when people talk about cryptids, that there wasn't legit, there wasn't real, as in physical real. I knew that there wasn't something that is in the flesh, but I knew that there were more in spirit, or should I say, unclean spirits. That's why I call them DDN, disembodied, which means spirit, demonic, which is unclean. And then with Nephilim, because the Nephilim they became demons or unclean spirits. But I'm more sure there are many others. When the Heavenly Father cleans the earth, that they became unclean spirits also. Because they lost their vessels. So there's many things like that. So when you capture images of an unclean spirit, like for example, a giant snake that's in spirit form and is looking at you, that's something, could be an unclean spirit, something demonic that's just manifesting, that it has enough energy to manifest away. Or when people say that they seen a dragon looking at them and all this stuff, well, it's because it's an unclean spirit. They still have abilities to manifest somewhat, but it's not a manifestation of real flesh. It's just a manifestation that they can take a short period of time to take an appearance. Uh, so you place all these things uh, to the test spiritually. How you doing, brother Ernesto Hernandez? How are you? It's kind of like I remember we used to go work up north, and we are coming from Arkansas into Texas towards. We are coming from somewhere up there in the back ways. My dad like going through, instead of going through the main cities, he would go the back roads. We had an experience where I think we were coming through somewhere by Huntsville, We were coming from Arkansas. We were passing Huntsville. We could see the prison, and it was real hot that day. You know, as it was real hot. My dad was one of those guys that would take us a long time to get our destination. Like he would go the speed limit, literally go the speed limit or below the speed limit. If the speed limit was 55, he'll go 50. He was that kind of way, whatever the speed limit was. And then he like driving and sightseeing and stopping in every place that he could stop. So it would take us a long time to either get to our destination or to make it back home. So as we were passing the Huntsville, the prison, my mom seen there was this man. He was a sitting Native Indian style. It was a white man. He had his shirt off and he was sunburned real bad. I mean, he was red like a lobster, and he had a sign, and he was going like this, hitchhiking. All right. So my dad pulled over, and he told him he needed a ride, and he said yes, and he got in the station wagon. He was in the back seat. We were all kids, young, and he's sitting there, and we're giving him water. We're giving him water to drink, and he was real thirsty, and we're giving him food because he was hungry. And as we were driving, my mom asked him, "Where are you coming from?" He said, "I just got out of Huntsville." And my mom freaked out and told us all in Spanish to go to the back of the station wagon. And he's like, "No, no, no, no." Said, "The reason I was in there is for hitchhiking." And they're crazy that I just got out and I have to hitchhike to make it back home. I just got out of Huntsville. That's what he said. So my mom still told us to stay in the back of the station wagon, and he had the backseat to himself. And we're driving, and my mom's talking in Spanish that she don't trust him and all this stuff. But the guy, he just wanted to ride home. He lived in one of the towns in the outskirts of Dallas, I believe. And as we were driving, it got dark. We're driving, and in the center of the road, we seen like a big dark shadow figure. Like it looked like a cow, like it was laying on the road. So when my dad seen it, he tried to hit the brakes, and we went over it. The vehicle went over it and stuff. It was a station wagon that we had. It felt like we ran over something, hit something. And the guy freaked out. What's going on? And he's like, "I just said, I think I hit a cow." So we turned back and we had the bright beams on, and we're looking around to see where this cow is. And it's kind of like there was no cow. There was no blood or nothing. I mean, we looked everywhere. No cow, no blood, no nothing. But it was like, I guess, an unclean spirit that took the manifestation of a cow. The station wagon didn't even have no damage. So this guy was freaking out, and we started praying. We drove like another 30 to 45 minutes. We were going through the cornfields that were there. There was all kinds of lechuzas, owls flying out of the cornfields, or they will come because of the high beams, all the mosquitoes and bugs. They go attack the bugs. The owls will come and get the bugs that were flying through the high beams. We finally get to his town and we drop them off. But that experience right there was freaked out because it was a dark shadow figure in the form of a cow, like it was in the middle of the road laying down. We hit the sucker and we went up in the air and everything, like we hit something, but there was nothing there. Because sometimes, I guess, when they do manifest, they do have the capabilities because of the energy. I would think it's because of the energy that they manifest that you're gonna feel something in that nature. You know. Yeah, I don't know. Somebody had an opening. Maybe it might have been the guy that was in there that might have had a spiritual opening. I don't know. But that's what happened to us when we were trying to help him out. Let me catch up to the comments here. Yeah, that's the way it is. Uh, Law Morgan, it is what it is. That's why sometimes we just got to do what we have to do. That's why I like doing spiritual and DDN cryptid encounters, because I like doing this. I'm gonna start working on some of the videos so you can see, do close-ups of the things that are in the video, so y'all can check it out. Real close-ups of some of the things that you haven't been able to witness because you know I haven't done a close-up of them. I normally show the regular video. So what I need to do is do a project. That's what I'm gonna do, and do close-ups of the things that I've caught on camera. Make short reels, more short reels. If I have to give them a little bit of color so you can see what's in there, I'll do that. That's going to be one of the goals here on Spiritual and Didion Encounter. Normally, I was just gonna name it Spiritual and Didion Encounters, and take away cryptid. But I say, you know what? I'm still gonna leave the cryptid for right now. I think I can't take nothing off till like in 14 days or whatever. But y'all know I'll talk more of it as that they're DDN, more that they're a spirit, unclean spirits. How you doing, cousin Gilbert? Uh, yeah, I've experienced a lot of things towards the up in the Dallas area, man. There's a lot of crazy MFers up there. No offense, Primo. You live in Fort Worth, but there is, man. We're talking about when we're talking about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I know it was a movie, but it's something that supposedly happened. Uh, I remember things like that back in the early '70s. People trying to drive us off the road and all that with high beams and big old massive, big old trucks. They're made of metal. Trying to run us off the roads. I'm not talking about the highways. I'm talking about back roads. We had an incident like that happen to us where we was going to go through Dallas, and we ran into a sheriff, or no, it was a DPS. This in the '70s, and he's telling us that the road is closed, and he detours to go a different road. So don't worry about it. The road will take you where you're going to. Blah blah blah. The station one that we had two gas tanks, and we listened to this DPS, and we go down this road. The road is like a regular highway. Then you, that's what I do, Sister Katie. You've been a loyal supporter of positive spiritualist, spiritual encrypted encounters, and now spiritual and DDN encrypted encounters. So I remember we're going down this road and it's dark already, and the road becomes a regular road, like a road in a street from a neighborhood. It goes from a highway to a street, like a neighborhood, and we're driving that street down that street. Then the street becomes a dirt road. It's like what's going on there, and we just kept on going. We're driving one of the gas tanks uh, run out of gas, so we still got another full tank. It's like around, it's late at night. already, like around 2:30 or 3 in the morning. Then this we're driving the dirt down the dirt road, and this truck with high beams up on top, they shine on us, and the truck comes and tries to hit us in the rear end of the station wagon. The station wagon had a good motor, so my dad hit the gas, and he's trying to knock us off the dirt road, and my dad keeps on stepping on the gas. I guess that the truck had like gears or something, where they're trying to shift and try to hit us, but the Citroen has got a powerful engine, and we're my dad is avoiding them from hitting us in the rear end. So it's kind of like for about almost 30 minutes to an hour, this people, they shut off their lights completely. We're driving, and with my dad loses the momentum because of things that they were just messing with us, and then the lights appear right behind us again, hitting us, and they're honking their horn and trying to run us off the road. And the same thing, he keeps on dodging that, and it happens for a while like that. And we get to a location where there's a big white building. It looks like a castle of some sort, and on top of this this building, there's nothing but black owls, which to me, black owls would signify dark witches. And there's a bunch of them on top of the roof of this big building. As we're driving, all the black owls come after us. They come after us, and they're trying to hit us. They start hitting the station wagon. They're hitting the station wagon. Some are coming from on top, and they're scratching the station wagon. Like you hear the claws, and they're hitting us in the rear end of the vehicle. They're hitting us on the sides of the vehicle, and this I would say dark witches, owls. They're even going up to the doors and pulling on the handles. Like trying to open the doors, but we have the doors locked, and my father is holding on because they're trying to knock us off the road, and they're bumping into us, so he's hitting them with the station wagon side to side, and they keep on flying away. Uh, so we're running out of gas, and finally the sun started rising. It was one of those the spiritual battles. We finally made it to a highway, and there was a gas station there. As soon as we exited that dirt road, there was a gas station. We needed gas. We stopped at the gas station. They had those old gas pumps, the ones that used to have the gas. They're red like hazel or whatever. Those old gas pumps, and the gas station was color white. Went through there, and there's like a meat market in there, and the guy's cutting up some beef or whatever he's cutting up in there, and we ask him for we could get gas, and he says no to us. He refuses to give us gas. I think it had to do with the same people that was trying to run us off the road. So when we went outside, luckily there was a DPS passing by, and we waved down the DPS person. He came back, and he told the man to give us service, to give us gas, and he stayed there to make sure that they gave us gas. Once they gave us gas, we was able to leave back home. But he didn't want to fuel us up. I believe that he was part of those people that was trying to run us off that road. Whether it was a cult or it was the same people affiliated with, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This happened to us in 1970. I believe it was 76 or 77 when we experienced that. Because I remember I was young. I think I had to be like 6 years old or seven, somewhere around there. 7 or 8. I was young. Can't remember. I know we're coming from Arkansas because we're gonna work out there with my tia Janie and her husband. Ozuna. I think they lived in Ozuna or some weird name over there in Arkansas. Okay, here we go. Let me catch up to the comments. But that's a true story. Was it the same people from that were involved in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre? I don't know. My brother said he remembers the name of the town, and one day we're going to go check it out. We're going to see if we can find that road that where they try to, you know, I guess take us out. One day we're going to see if we can find that road. He more or less knows where it's at because he remembers the name of the town. It was a little town. He remembers the name of the little town when we came out of the dirt road. So we're trying to go to see if we can find that town and find that dirt road that we traveled that night. Whether it's there or not, I do not know, because it's been so many years. Yeah, the truck was an old truck, man. When you think of Jeepers Creepers, but it was one of those old uh, towing trucks. It looked like a towing truck, one of those big trucks that will tow. That's what it looked like, and it was color rust or brownish, or something like that. Because it will get real close to us. I can remember. I remember seeing like the rust color to it. I know. When you go through something like that, you never forget what you've been through. I'm just lucky that it was something affiliated with something in that nature. I'm glad that we made it, man. I've heard stories. I remember a story. We were going towards East Texas. I mean West Texas, and through I think it was San Angelo area somewhere up there. There's a mountain. We were going up this like a mountain, and we got a flat tire, and I guess there was like a piece of wood with nails in the road. Got stuck in the tire. Luckily, my dad had those plugs to fix that, or he had to patch things. That he would do. He was able to fix the holes. When we were doing that, I remember there was this man that came out of the wooded area there. It was all woods, and he was on a horse, and he told us that if we needed help, that we can go to his ranch. We can go to his ranch, that he will help us and all this stuff. And my dad told him, no, we're fine or whatever. And which we fixed the tire, and was able to go on a merry way. Then I hear in the same area where we had that experience, I think they even made a movie of it. It was where in the same area was, I guess, a man on a horse. What he would do is do that on purpose, get people to have a flat or whatever, and then he'll take them to the ranch. And when they take them to the ranch, then they will hold them captive there like prisoners and make them work in the fields that they had there, and they wouldn't feed them, so the people would get very weak, and then they will make the people kill the rest of the people that were there with them, like kill their own families and stuff like that, because they had no energy, they wouldn't be fed and stuff like that. I believe they busted the person that was doing that. So you never know what you're going to encounter. It wasn't meant for us, because the Heavenly Father was looking out for us, but only God knows how many people suffered and died because of that person on that horse. Yeah. Oh, there is. I've heard the stories, man. I know there's uh, some bad people in this world, man. And to them, the things that they do is normal. To them, is that's the way they're raised. That's the way their life is. You know, when you hear about feral people in the hills, like the Hills Have Eyes and those kind of movies, you know, inbred. You know, I've heard of those. You know, that's what they do. They're not all up there, and that's what they do. You know, strange things that way. I remember when we used to go work in the fields and stuff like that. We had stopped at this. There was a barbecue restaurant. We were coming back at this time. We were coming back from from Arkansas. Then we had gone worked up there two times, if I remember correctly. And we had stopped at this gas station. Well, it was a restaurant, and we were gonna go. We needed to use the restroom, and my dad was thinking about buying some barbecue from this restaurant, right? So as we got off, you know, we're gonna, we're wash up or whatever, and we're gonna go into this little, it's a barbecue place. It's not even like a restaurant. It's just where they say barbecue, and the sun is already setting. And as we were going past this tree that's in front of us, there's a big sign on the tree. The sign says no ends, enners allowed, no wetbacks allowed, and then it says only dogs allowed. Then my dad stops me and it says, let's go back to the vehicle. That's what he said, right? So we went back to the vehicle and they said, and he's like, we need to get out of here. So we turn on the vehicle, you know. Not that I have nothing against white people, but I mean that truly happened, you know. I wasn't afraid of anybody. I still ain't afraid of anybody that's like that. You know, to me, I'm one of those people that handle business. I can handle business however, but I was just a kid. So my dad's like, get in the vehicle, and so we need to put gas. There was an Exxon. We stopped at the Exxon. It was like seven. It was like 7:05. You know, and another thing that it had on that sign, it says, "Don't be caught here after sundown." That's what it said. The sun was already setting. There's a little bit of light. We're trying to get some gas, and the lady said, "I cannot service you. I cannot give you no gas." And it says, my dad's pleading with her, and he says, please give us some gas, you know. And she's looking around. He said, "Hurry up, pump some gas. I might get in trouble for this, but hurry up." And my dad started pumping the gas, you know. And we're looking around, and the sun. There's still a little bit of light, you know. It's still a little bit of light. It's not all the way down. So she gives us gas, and we get in there and we get the hell out of there. It was a little hick town, you know. It was here in Texas. I believe it was here in Texas. This little hick town. We get in there and we get the hell out of the town, you know. But it used to be that way, you know. This is back roads, back roads, you know. So black people. I know that they had I know what they've been through with dealing with racism and stuff like that. But in all honesty, it was their own people that sold them to racism. You know, their kings sold them for tea. You know, sold them cheap or whatever. And since that happened to them, then it's okay. Let's do the same thing to the Hispanics and to the they call them chinks to the Oriental people. You know, let's bully them like they did to us or whatever. But then everybody started forming their own little groups. You know, the white people had the KKK, which you hardly hear of anymore, but they're still there. Then you had the Black Power or the Black Panthers. Then you had the Chicano Power, Brown Power. Then the Oriental had their own groups, that they formed, because everybody had to protect their the generation, right? They had to protect, but that's how it was. I noticed the same thing when I joined the military. I noticed the division because of racism. I noticed that when I joined the military that it existed. I had to get in a lot of fights against all kinds of different nationalities. Puerto Rican, Dominican, African American, white. It didn't matter if they were hillbillies. Didn't matter if they were rednecks. With all nationalities. I even got in fights with my own kind. Uh, uh, Hispanics, or they thought were white or thought they were black. Yeah, it became triads and other things. I just, yeah. As I said, some of these people they think they're living in that they're living in what's the guy that from Bugs Bunny? I say chicken cleghorn time, right? I say, come here, boy. I say. I don't know how many people I beat up. I'm not gonna lie. I beat a lot of people that were being racist to me. I would tell them, please stop disrespecting me. They're like, "F you, f your mother, your father," and then start cussing at me. And so you ain't gonna do nothing. It's many of us compared to you. And I said, all right. And in my mind, I was like, well, there's gonna be a time that those many of them are not gonna be with you when I catch you, because I'm gonna catch you when you're alone. And that's what I would do. I would catch them when they were by themselves, where there was nobody else around, and I would teach them a lesson of a lifetime. I ain't gonna lie. That's what I know when people say that they're bad and all that. I said, man, I don't know, because I made a lot of those people that came up against me in a negative way. I made them pay the piper. So I know how tough they can be and how tough they aren't. That was a long time ago, brothers and sisters. Yeah. uh, oh yeah, man. So when they were coming at me in a negative way, they'd be in the group, and I'll say, okay, and I'll go after the person that was being the most disrespectful. Everybody could be talking, but there's always one that's more disrespectful than the others. And I will lock on them. I remember their face. And in my mind at this time, when I was younger, I would say, his ass is mine. That's the one I'm going to get. I remember his face, and I did what I had to do. I would teach the dude a lesson of a lifetime. I ran into many. Didn't matter to me what nationality. It didn't matter to me what happened, uh, because it cost them in the banana boats or whatever. Didn't matter if they came wearing stockings and wigs like George Washington did. It didn't matter to me what the background was. Didn't matter to me if they had um, pillowcases over their head, and they had nicknames of you know because they're racist. It didn't matter to me. To me, you come at me, you come at me in a negative way, I'm going to teach you a lesson of a lifetime. And I taught many people a lesson of a lifetime. The thing is that when I taught them the lesson of the lifetime, they don't even know what hit them. When people come at you, and those times, I'm talking about back in the day, come at you in a negative way so bad, so disrespectful, you're not going to give them the respect or you're not going to fight them man to man after they disrespect you, your bloodline, and those before you. No, that person right there is going to be treated like they say, how the white people say it, the gringos say it, like a redheaded stepchild. And I treated a lot of people that way. I ask God for forgiveness, but man, it's like when you plead to people, leave me alone. You don't know who you're messing with. This, you don't know who you're messing with. Leave me alone, and they continue and continue. Then you gotta teach them a lesson. You gotta give them what they want. Some people learn the hard way. Like I said, I'm a good guy, but I know how I can be. I choose not to be that way, but if I have no choice of the matter and somebody insults me so bad that you know I got to do what I got to do. Back then I was single. It was me, myself, and I. So if me, myself, and I would say kick his ass, well, me, myself, and I will kick some ass. Yeah, I had a guy torment me. He was higher ranked, torment me for a long time, and I taught that guy a lesson of a lifetime. He got beat up so bad that this guy was in crutches. He had a broken leg, a broken arm, broken nose. He had the raccoon eyes. He had cuts on his head with stitches and all kinds of things that happened to the guy. But he's lucky that I was able to control my anger. He kept messing with me for 3 months. 3 months. It was just messing with me and being as racist as you can think. He would say the cruelest things, being racist, because he was a E7 high rank and I was only I think it was a private. He thought that nothing was going to happen to him, that he was going to continue to be the asshole. Not to be bad, but he was racist, so I'm going to call him the white asshole that he was. He thought that nothing was going to be able to touch him because it was high rank. He found out the hard way. This guy, he got so beat up so bad that the first sergeant called him out to the formation, and he came out in crutches, and he said, "Bring this stupid mother." It was like an E7 or yeah, he was an E7. He said, "You see this guy here? He went out there, he got drunk off his ass, and look what happened to him." And it said he said that he got beat up by 14 people. The 14 people jumped him. Look how messed up he is. He's like, from now on, I want everybody to go out there in groups of fours. The guy lied. He don't even know what happened to him. You know why you don't remember what happened to him? Because I was like the Wolverine. I stalked him for 2 weeks. 2 weeks I followed him to see his routines on the weekends, and it was the same thing every time I followed him. He would go to the same bars, and the Wolverine got his ass. He claimed it was 14 people. I don't think me, myself, and I is 14 people, but it looked like 14 people got a hold of him. Hey, that's how bad he got underneath my skin, man. That I made him eat the words that came out of his mouth that was being disrespectful. After that whooping, that guy stopped messing with people. Because I'm going to say one thing: you can't beat the racism out of somebody, because he's proof of that. He stopped messing with people after that ass whooping. You know, he got lucky because he might not have made it, but he got spared. That's how bad the whooping was, that he stopped messing with people. Get some rest, cousin. Get some rest, primo. This happened in Germany. I can remember the guy's name, man. He don't know what happened to him. I know a little bird tells me that he ate about everything. He ate the urinal numerous times. He ate the sink. You know, a lot of bad things happened to the fella. You know, I try to give people warning. What he didn't know is that I was carrying a burden on me of what happened in my family already, of everything that I had been through, since I was a kid and all that. So he thought he was a badass, and he didn't know what he was dealing with, and he found out the hard way. Yeah, you got to give them what they want. He wanted, when you tell them to stop and they continue and continue, you know, you do what you got to do to give him a lesson of a lifetime. I hope he learned his lesson. To my understanding, they say he changed as a person, and he started messing with people and all this stuff. What I understand by the people that immediately worked with him, I'm not sure, but I'm glad I could assist him and guide him the right direction. He's one of those that you couldn't guide him through words. You had to guide him through discipline. And I'm glad that I could do that for him. One thing I did ask God for forgiveness. You know, no, I've asked God forgiveness numerous times, especially when it comes down to this one thing. When you take care of situations like that, the within you, if you've done wrong, and then within you, hey, that's it, it's done. Leave it alone. Don't go further than this. You know, the Heavenly Father doesn't want to do us to do that, but sometimes things like that have to happen in order for somebody to learn their lesson. Things have to happen a certain way. Well, that's Jesus, Swifter. Mia was in the military, and I'm not Jesus. and I had already seen a lot of things throughout my lifetime, and I had to handle the situation accordingly to what I felt was right at the time. And I felt that I had to get vindicated for all the disrespect and all the wrongdoings that were done to me. At that time when I was only a teenager, I mean, I was only like 19. So I had to feel vindicated for myself, and handle this guy for all the times he disrespected not just me, disrespected my deceased mother, my deceased grandmother, and my deceased grandfather. I mean, he literally disrespected numerous times my my blood my bloodline. He would do it daily for 3 months, but I handled the situation, and I did ask God for forgiveness, and repented for my actions. But did it feel good that I handled the situation how I did? Honestly, because of all the bad things that he said to me, it was meant to happen that way. You know, um, I didn't rejoice over it. You know, but I feel good that I defended the honor of my deceased mother and those before her. That I defended their honor, and I'm more sure that anybody here would defend the honor of their parents, defend the honor of their family, their children. I mean, you would do the same thing if you had to. It's one of those situations that I had to hold myself back when enough was enough, and that's it. And just leave it alone. Don't think about it no more, and just move on forward forward in my life. Yeah, for 3 months, this guy. When you're in the military, this guy wasn't even in my company. That's the thing. He wasn't in my company. He was somebody that was always running into me like he was stalking me. I guess he didn't like me, and I could be in my civilian clothes, not even on duty, and he would make me do push-ups and just mess with me intentionally. It started that way that he was doing that, and I would knock at the push-ups, just thinking, a push-up ain't gonna hurt me because I was very athletic. So everywhere he see me off duty, he was messing with me for no reason. It went from him messing with me that way till when I'm doing the push-ups that he starts insulting me and calling me all kinds of racist names, you know, the worst of the worst. And then he started insulting. Uh, he got me locked up in parade rest, insulting me in my face when I'm in my civilian clothes, in which he's not supposed to do that, you know, because it's not like I was in my BDUs. Now, if my BDUs and I'm doing something wrong, then it's justifiable. But it wasn't my civilian clothes. He was messing with me off the clock, you know, on my own time, where that time is my time, my free time. So he would mess with me every chance. He wasn't even in my company or battalion, but that's okay. You learned the hard way. Yeah, yeah. You know what's we all know. When I hear people say that they don't know God, the God that doesn't exist, that when people need to show and prove that of God existence, the existence is within all of us because we all know right and wrong. We know when we're at peace. We know when if somebody's coming at us in a negative way, and they're invading our peace because they're trying to get us upset. And then there's times that people cross those boundaries. They cross those boundaries, and you tell them, please, leave me alone. Then they continue to cross those boundaries, continue to cross those boundaries, and by then, after they cross it so many times, then you're going to give them what they've been looking for, right? They're they're giving you receipts. Then you give them a refund. Take care of business. But that was then. This is now. I try to help out people spiritually, but when I was younger, man, when you're trying to go through life, and you're learning, you, it's kind of like a roller coaster ride. You have your ups and downs in life. Yeah, he wasn't in my company or my battalion. He was just a person that didn't like me, and he was showing me what he was about. Me being a young buck, yeah, I didn't know better. I'll ask people, is people allowed to come and mess with me? I'll talk to the people in charge of me, and well, I really wouldn't say nothing. I would talk to some of the soldiers, but I really wouldn't say nothing to nobody because sometimes you have to handle things according to the actions that are how the people are treating you. That's the kind of person I was. I handle things accordingly. I'm more sure that everybody's here on this chat that been in a situation where somebody's come at them in a negative way, and then they've had to bust somebody up. I mean, sister beyond the box been in a situation where she literally had to shoot somebody because she had no choice of the matter. She was in a situation like that. She had to take care of business. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Because if you don't do nothing about it, then things are going to happen. After that, I never heard a peep from that guy. He never messed with me ever again. See what time? We're at an hour marker here, real late at night. Now maybe Sister Brenda wants to come on and share a story of what she had to do, but she had no choice of the matter. Sometimes you have to handle situations accordingly. No, I was only a teenager, man. I was 19. I was young. Lerny said he's decided to tell people to stop many times. They didn't care. They felt some kind of power because of it, so I had to step up. Yeah. It's like my mom used to say, can't be nobody's carpet. Because if you're somebody's carpet, they're going to step all over you. If if you don't do nothing about it, they're going to continue to step on you. Reminds me of there's Sister Brenda right there. It reminds me of the San Antonio Spurs being a carpet today for the Knicks.
Oh my gosh, those people out in New York are crazy. I couldn't work for New York PD. There ain't no way. Oh my gosh. They're still tearing things up days later. And aren't they supposed to be doing something in Houston for that too?
Oh yeah, it's already done. They won the championship tonight.
Okay.
It's
I
over.
and I didn't see a bunch of people out there tearing up Houston. You want to know why?
What's that?
Because our cops won't let them.
Ah,
Unfortunately, New York is always on stand down orders. So, yeah, it's craziness. I don't even know what to do
Swifter
with
says
people.
Jesus said Satan can't cast out Satan. No, I think he said Beelzebub cannot cast out Beelzebub. So that means if we repay evil for evil, we're also doing the same as Satan, unfortunately.
Well,
Well, two wrongs don't make a right, but
no.
I'll tell you what, I'll let out all the anger to where it came from, to the person that caused it. I let it all out on him, and after
Hey,
that, I feel real damn good about it.
I I
I'll
didn't
tell you
want to
that.
I didn't want to do what I had to do, but it was either I do it or I allow him to shoot another man in the back. And considering the job I was doing, that couldn't happen. So, sometimes sometimes you have to do what you got to do to overcome evil. I mean, because when it's staring you in the face and it's got a big gun in its hand, you got to do what you got to do. So, yeah. Mm-mm. I know nowadays.
Well, I didn't hear about the guy anymore because I let my frustrations out. But through the grapevine, through other people, I heard that he changed his ways, that he stopped being the asshole that he was, stopped being racist to people, and stopped messing with people after what happened to him. Everybody said that he changed and became a very terrific guy. I mean, he had to take an act of God in order for that to happen, right?
I I decided that it was safer for the military for me to not be married to any more military men because I don't let their sergeants get away with anything. Oh God! And they would see me coming and say, "Oh God, here she comes." Yep. I knew that when they did stupid things, that things that they shouldn't have done, that it was my right to confront them. And because I was a civilian, they had to watch what they said, which, to my advantage, I took that. I think I only used my uncle one time, and it was that time when my ex husband's father died, and he had just gotten in the military, and we needed to go to finance to try to get a loan to go out there to go bury his dad. And he basically had said that my husband didn't need me to go with him, that he could go alone, which my husband didn't even know that side of his family, so he didn't want to go alone. Um, and started just saying really nasty things to me. Like, he turned around and said, "Well, what are your finances like?" And I went and I got the checkbook out and I started going. He said, "No, I don't want to hear from you. I want to hear from the soldier." And I said, "Well, look, he's on loan to you from me. And before he joined the military, I handled the finances. And I continue to handle the finances. I'm sorry if you don't like that. Now, do you want the report or do you not want it?" And he got so snippy with me that I got up and walked out of the office and picked up the phone. I called my uncle. And by the time I went back upstairs, apparently my uncle had called him. And when I came back in the room, that man apologized to me like nobody's business. And I just kind of looked at him and said, I don't like to do that because I don't want to get that end of my family involved in anything that I do. But you, sir, left me no choice. So yeah, I decided it was safer for me to not, or safer for them for me to not just no more military guys. That's okay. I'm good. No, thank you. Mm-mm. Um, Now let me see. Um, this person here, this
Swifter.
Swifter, yeah. The account's only. How come your account is only 3 months old, Swifter? We've never seen you in here before.
Yeah, it's just reading verses of the Bible. Well, not reading verses, just trying to say things.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, what happened in the past stays in the past, and I let a lot of things go, changed a lot of things how it used to be, But if I had to protect this vessel again, I will protect the vessel again.
Yes.
That's why I work out and stay active because you never know, if you have if something's going to come your way in a thoughtful manner, you got to do what you got to do. If you want to continue to do God's work, I've learned that
Hey,
spiritually we can tie in the Brian and Rick and through the name of Jesus Christ. Yes, Sister Brenda.
I did not I did not enjoy what I had to do. That was
Yeah,
very, very hard for me, you know? I mean, and people don't realize it. It's there are a lot of cops and people like that when they have no choice. Now we do have a lot of corrupt police, don't get me wrong. But when you have the good ones and they don't have a choice, they don't take taking a life lightly. They don't. Some of them have to put their gun down, get desk duty for 3 or 4 months, go and see someone to talk about it. Some of them get PTSD from it and have nightmares. You
yeah.
know, I mean, it is something that weighs heavy on your soul when you have to do that. It's not just a, you know, pick. It's not like the streets and the gangsters and like you see on TV when they all just go out there and pick up a gun and they, kill people just because they want to do a drive by. It's not. I think that even some of them they do it to get initiated in, but then it harms them when they do it. Like they're just never the same person again. And some people it does hurt them. It is something very heavy that hangs on your soul when you do that. So, taking a life is not it's not it's not easy. I
Yeah.
mean, even the men in the military, they get paid and they go overseas and they have to do this stuff. But it's not like
So
they're out there going woohoo and rounding
more.
them up and bat 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 bat. They're not.
Yeah.
That's not the way it is. It really is not. So
Yeah, you have to live there for the rest of your life.
that's right. That
So
is
yeah,
correct.
I was in the military, Swifter also as a soldier, and I had to do what I had to do in a combat environment. So
Yeah.
tell us, Swifter, since you're saying all kind of things of the Bible, what it says about combat. What it says about combat in the Bible. Whoever plays God first, the Heavenly Father first in combat, and pray for His assistance. Most likely, those are the individuals when you're praying, calling upon them in true faith and believe that you're going to come out of the combat environment because He's going to be there by you, watching over you, protecting you. And that's why I'm here because I pray to the Heavenly Father. So there's other individuals, they're believing in other things over there, Allah and the jinn and stuff like that, but they're not here to talk about it. I'm still here to talk about it. Uh, but yeah, sometimes things happen. You have to do what you got to do in a combat environment. There's no
Yeah.
when it's war and bullets are flying around. It's about who hits the target first.
And you know how I look at it, Abe? If it wasn't for the men and women that went and fought for this country, we wouldn't be around to be able to read the Bible and to worship our Father and Jesus. We wouldn't be here to do that. So
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was out there in Kuwait, and I seen this guy in silk pants and a silk shirt with gold in his teeth, and he's got these guys in white like diapers of some sort, like slaves. They're barefooted. They have no
what?
shirts on. They're digging trenches. And he's got like a whip in his hand, and he's making the whip sound, and he's laughing. And within me, I seen the guy, and he was looking at me, smiling, and he was going like that with a whip on the guys, like slaves, you know. And I look at the guy, and the first thing that I wanted to do,
Run them over.
well, no, I'm talking about I was in Kuwait. I was
Oh,
walking, and I was with my platoon, and the first thing I wanted to do, because of what I seen, I wanted to kick his ass. You know, something
right.
within me wanted to go show him that he's not that doesn't matter how much if he's got silk or jewelry that he can be touched. Something within myself told me to go teach him a lesson, but then my sergeant told me, "See us, get that get the look out of your face. Don't do nothing. You know, we're in a different country. That's how they live here. They're going by their rules and regulations here. Don't do nothing
Yeah.
stupid." But I wanted to do something to him because the way he was looking at me, I felt that he was thinking he can do whatever the hell he wanted to do to anybody. So I wanted to teach him a lesson, but he held me back from doing nothing to the person.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know the guys were prisoners or what, but they wore like white. I think they might have been for the other country beside there.
They might have been prisoners.
Yeah,
But the other guy dressed like that being out there. I mean, what? You don't dress
silk,
like that when you're out in the desert. What's the matter with you?
silk shirt, silk pants, and the nice shoes. He had gold on his teeth and gold on his neck. Looked like Fabio or Rico Suave, you know.
Oh, good
And he
God.
was smiling, you know. And it was those guys were they had the pick hand like slaves, you know.
Yeah, they might have been. They might have been prisoners. Like when we have some that have the, we take them out to the side of the highways to clean up trash, and we don't. Of course, we don't whip them, but maybe
Yeah,
that's just the way they do it out there.
yeah.
That is
It's
weird,
like
Lawrence.
yeah, uh, you know. And I had to hold myself back because I don't know who the people were or whatever, but I just felt that the guy needed to be taught a lesson.
I look at some of the way other countries treat each other, um, and I think why would they want to live there? But I guess when you're born and raised into certain
There,
different cultures, it
yeah,
doesn't bother you like the women, that during 130 degrees they've got to be covered head to toe, and they can't leave unless they have a
in black.
man with them. They're not allowed to talk. And I thought to myself, hey, no way. But when they're brought up like that, I guess it's, you know,
Hmm.
what they're used to.
I will catch them off guard. Those women, because I had binoculars on my tank, so I could be seeing. They'll be sitting like in a distance, like on a sand dune, and I could see their kids like coming towards the tanks because they wanted water or food. So I pull out the binoculars. I'm looking at the woman, and like the mom's waiting for him, and then she takes off her thing on her face. You'll be able to see her face, and I'm
Yeah.
seeing her face with the binoculars, you know. And then when she sees a fit, I will see her expression when I see the kids coming back with a case of MREs or some
Yeah.
water. They're walking, you can see the smile on her face. But I'll be seeing her with the binoculars from a distance. You know, I would always pay attention because if I would have seen that she had a weapon or something on her, and I would keep an eye on the kids too, make sure they didn't have nothing on them.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, because they would do that.
yeah,
They would strap bombs and everything to those poor kids and send them out there. You don't use children. I don't know. Maybe I'm just soft hearted because of children. But to
they'll be like,
me,
they'll be
I,
like
I hate that. Yeah.
when the war, they were like
Yeah.
they were they were thirsty and they were hungry. because those freaking Saddam Hussein's army, raped and what do you call it? Raped and plundered everything.
Pillage their
Privilege.
city,
Yeah, yeah.
took everything. Yeah, I mean,
That's what it
I
became personal for me. When I seen the mass gravesite of women and children, it became personal to me. Just like when people talk about pedophiles and stuff
oh
like that, what they do. It's
yeah,
personal,
don't get me
right?
on that. Oh my
You
God,
know, it's bad, man. It's bad, and
yeah. And these poor kids in these third world countries, they didn't ask to be born, but they should be taken care of. Um, I mean, they do without so much. And when they come here, when they bring them here, they don't know how to act. They're just like, what? They don't ever ask for food. You have to actually sit them down and feed them because they got so used to never eating where they were before that they just didn't ask. you know it's really sad what happens with children, and it's not necessarily just our children here. Our children here are mistreated a lot too, but them poor kids in them other countries, I mean, it's horrible. It is horrible. I don't
the
know.
thing over there, like where there's oil, even the poor are rich over there.
Yeah.
They be living in like, the low income houses that they have or look like condominiums. Just put it that way,
Yeah.
because
They
so
probably wouldn't. I mean, I
they
would.
don't have palaces and all that, but they're living in their apartment complexes or condominiums. That's what they look like
Yeah.
because they're richer from the oil. You know, but then you got some people that live off the grid, the no man lands that they got the like the circus tents, like their
Yeah.
homes, and then they're driving those little white Nissans going real fast on the sand. They live out there in they're sheep herders and all kinds of things.
Well, I could do that. If I had me one of them big old nice RVs, I'd be all over the place. Nobody'd be able to find me. I
No,
would
no,
never stay in one place. I would just move
they
around.
had literally had like tents set up, big tents, and they're
Yeah.
living there through the sandstorms and everything. They know how to dig in them, and so the sandstorms. I'm more sure sometimes the sandstorms will cover them, so they have to uncover the sand around them.
But didn't they
Those sandstorms are pretty bad over there.
didn't they used to say that like people, certain people in like where it snowed a lot real bad and never ever got any green, they used to build those igloos, and they would live inside those igloos, and they stayed warm in those igloos. And how they lit fires in them, I don't know how they did that and didn't melt their igloos. How did this happen?
Brother Lowell Morgan says, I saw they eat camel.
Well, yeah, they do kind of have an overabundance of them, like we do cattle. So I guess I could see that.
Well, they eat lamb and goat. I've seen them eat lamb and goat out there, in which,
Yeah,
us Mexicans, we eat all that.
right.
Barbacoa.
Yeah, they don't raise nor eat swine. That's for sure.
But then you got to worry about one thing: is how many of these camels and sheep, since they travel in the sand, are contaminated with chemicals.
Oh, yeah, there's that. And what? Keep an eye on your dogs and make sure that they don't have no sores on them, because apparently now they have. If it's not the dang ticks and the mosquitoes, they've
Now there's a fly.
manufactured flies and they're laying eggs in dogs' wounds, or they're making wounds for the dogs and they're laying those stupid screw worms in there. It's like, you know what? They can't get to us. So now they want to vaccinate our animals with everything. And the first time that I have a vet tell me, well, I think your dog has the flu, I am going to slap that vet and tell them to go back to school. I'm sorry. Dogs are immune to that. Dogs cannot get the flu. I don't care what a vet says. they cannot get the flu. Never ever in a lifetime have I ever heard of a dog getting the flu. Okay?
They're fear mongering. That's what they're
Yeah,
doing.
they are. My dogs ain't going to the vet. I got to try and make sure that they stay as healthy as possible. And, they try to tell me, well, your little one needs. No, my little dog, my small one, only goes outside if he's up on my chair with me. He is potty pad trained. He has a thing where he goes in, he uses his pads, and we clean them up. He comes out. He does not even need, he doesn't go around any other animal, leave him alone. My other one goes out on a leash, does his business, comes right back in the house. He is never outside alone. My cat won't even go to a window, much less outside. So leave my animals alone. That is what I've got to say. You ain't touching them. I took my little one had to go down when he had pancreatitis, and I didn't know what he had. And they were like, "Well, he's overdue for his vaccine." I said, "No, he's not. He just had it. He had it. I got it for him." Oh, oh, okay, yeah. Nope, you're not sticking him. Nope, sorry, leave him alone. You people are doing too much. Mm-mm.
So what happened to the guy that was trying to preach in here? With is he still here?
I don't
Swifter?
know.
I mean, he disappeared.
That's what happens when you ask questions. Yeah,
Yeah, I was talking about something that from the past. I was young. It was like my mom. The way she raised me is, so long you don't start it, you handle your business.
yeah,
Uh, handle your business. She
yep,
didn't like me start anything. If she found out that I started something, then that's an ass whooping. The ass whooping she would give me would be a lot worse than the fight. Just put it that way.
yeah, Andreas. I was hoping that you would catch that. I seen that person come in chat, and I was like, "Oh, you're a new account." And then all of a sudden, Andreas is like asking questions. Like, yeah, I know I didn't. I've never seen that person here before, ever. And it's
Yeah, and
okay to get new people, but usually they come in here and they say, "Hey, what's this about? What are you guys talking about?" Oh, that's good. Usually they'll talk to people. They don't come in here and start right off the bat with scripture. You know.
oh, they wasn't even saying scripture. They were just talking, trying to say something like scripture, but they're just trying to talk.
Well, but I know the minute I seen the name, I clicked on it. I was like, yeah, let's go check this out. It's only a 3-month-old account, so
Well, it's because there's people that don't like spiritual and DD encrypted encounters. So they come in with fake accounts just to mess with the channel. And so let's interrupt brother Abe CS from saying anything,
yeah,
to get a kick out of it or whatever. That's what they
yeah.
do. But it's like, I'm used to it.
I know it happens. It happens all the time.
You happen to you too all the time on Beyond the Box on your show.
Um, I don't get as many now as I used to,
How you doing, casual?
but
Family.
usually the mods will watch them, and if they say anything, off the wall, then they'll boot them out. I basically have like you know the people who come in your chat. So
Yeah.
the people who come in my chat are usually always the same people. So, it's okay. I get more like little emails sent to me because like I said, my email stays up on the bottom of the show. Um and I'll get like nasty emails and I just block them. I'm just I don't give them the time of day. I
Yeah,
ain't got time for
I
them.
think they do that. The messages because they want to disrupt what I'm saying. That's what they do. That. Gets to get a little kick out of it. That they But in all actuality, they just make themselves look like idiots,
Yeah, true. Um,
because you know.
Texas, I'm hoping sometime this coming week. Um, I had to take time to get a little better because I was on some real heavy antibiotics and stuff because I was sick. But I don't know what's going on with Glenn. We were going to start the day show back up Monday, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen because I just read
When
a
do you normally go
message.
live in the mornings or the afternoons?
With him, we go live at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, but my shows are always around 8 o'clock at night when I do
Oh,
just the Beyond the Box. Now he does stream on my platform. He combined our platforms, so when he does his Wednesday night shows, he'll stream also on mine. So whenever I'm going to do a show, I can't do it on a Wednesday night because then I'm streaming over his show on the same platform. So I usually make sure that I never have a show on Wednesday night so he can stream his. He always wants me to go over there, but I don't know. I cannot sit and listen to interviews of people who write books because I get bored out of my gore. I can't do it. I sit there and I've tried and I usually fall asleep because they just bore me to death. But he does his own little thing. But when him and I do our shows, we do them at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 1 to 3. But we've been off because he's been out there with his mom and having all kinds of problems. I'm going on if we're gonna be coming back this week or not. The people from Australia, the radio stations that play us out there live in Australia, they've been messaging him. They want to know when we're coming back because their whole entire radio show of people are like, "Where are they?"
they want y'all
So
back.
yeah, oh yeah, Australia, they like us out there. So
Wow,
well, yeah, we get like 44,000 viewers or listeners, I should say,
wow.
and that's all of Australia and New Zealand. So yeah, it's a pretty big radio show out there. But I don't know. But I'm hoping, yeah, that I can get some started up again this week on Beyond the Box. Ow, my shows. And I usually run mine about 8 o'clock. That way I'm done by the time you start yours. Sometimes it's really rough because like I'll start at 8 o'clock and then PRT will have a show. And it's like, oh
Hmm.
no.
Well, now
But
that
then
this championships are over, okay, I have more options to do different lives at different times. I try to not overdo myself, because there was
yeah,
a time that I was thinking about doing lives during the afternoons, just off my phone, just to speak to the members of Spiritual Encrypted Encounters, and for the algorithm. Uh, but I'm fine doing the shows the way I do it. Just this one was like just a surprise show. I told my wife, "Hey, I'm just going to jump in there for a little bit for an hour or two and call it a night." But we are an hour and 39 minutes.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, you were a little late tonight. I was getting
yeah,
ready
well,
to.
I did. I knew that I was going to do a late show. I knew I wasn't going to do the 11. I waited for 12 something to go live.
Yeah, I wasn't even sure because a lot of times lately you haven't been doing shows on a Saturday, so
Yeah,
I wasn't even sure you were going to have one tonight. I actually started watching a movie and then I got the notification on my phone, so I pushed pause and I thought, well, I'll watch that when Abe's done.
yeah. I decided to do one just for the heck of it. It's like, it's not going to hurt nothing. I'll get to talk to the regulars. From Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. Like I said, I think told you that I wanted to change the name, add something to it, and I did, like I
Yeah.
wanted to. I put spiritual and DDN.
Right.
encrypted encounters.
Yeah, Paula. I do YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and I upload to Rumble. I am trying to figure out once again how to go live on Rumble because there is a show or two that I want to do, but we can't do it on YouTube. We have to do it on Rumble because if we did that on YouTube, they would strike my channel and I wouldn't have a channel. I mean, they would completely take it down.
Oh,
So,
YouTube.
yeah. So I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to figure out how to go live on Rumble when I do one of the
What,
shows
what
that I'm
would YouTube take a channel down because of what you'll talk
um
about?
yeah, because it's going to be about COVID.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
And we're going to bring all the paperwork out that's been released on it and all that stuff. And we can't do that on YouTube. YouTube doesn't like that. So, yeah.
well, tonight I'm on Rumble.
Are you?
Uh, yeah, I think what I need to do is when I renew the contract, if I renew the contract for Restream, I want to need to add more platforms. But I noticed that TikTok, I can't do nothing on TikTok because they get all offended over
Yeah.
there. Want
And
to
I don't
delete my.
understand that because you know what, Abe? I've watched TikToks when they go live over there, and these young kids will sit up there and shake their tatas everywhere and wear shirts where they're basically falling out. They allow that stuff, but they don't allow talking anything spiritually or,
Yeah,
what have you. I the way I look at it is I think that TikTok's platform is more for the younger generations and I think that's why they pick on older people when they use it.
and
Because you're
another
not the only
thing,
one I've heard that happen to.
like on YouTube, is only for adults. Only anybody that's above 18.
Yeah,
Only for adults. I don't know. I don't share to children or nothing. Just adults,
yeah, I do. Mine's
and
listed
that's
18
why
and older.
some of the reasons that if somebody causes, they don't make a big deal about it because it's just for adults.
Yeah, and kids can still watch the adult thing, but the adults can't say anything if they get caught because, well, they shouldn't have been watching it because it is
Well,
listed 18 and older.
yeah, that's what I got it down, and that's one of the reasons when the people try to come at me in a certain way, I'm still safe because it's just for adults. That's
Yeah.
Sister Paula says she found me through purity. Let me be right. I'm gonna go get me some more water. Finish this
Okay.
water here.
All right. Down and through. Oh yeah, yeah. Yep. I'm gonna. I was trying to stream where I had Rumble connected to everything, and it's really hard to do that because you got to put in all the URLs and all that other stuff. And um, I did it one time and one time only by accident, and I wasn't able to do it again. And I used to pay for Rumble, so I stopped paying for them, and I just upload to them. But if I'm gonna go back and start doing lives on there, I'm gonna have to start paying for them again. So, which it's no big deal. I think it's only like $9.99 a month or $10 a month or something like that. So I'm probably gonna do that.
You should wait for Black Friday. That's when they got the deals. Black
Rum-
Friday?
Rumble does a Black Friday.
No,
What?
I'm talking about Black Friday is when like the things have like Restream has deals
I mean, I
to get
use
for a whole year at a cheaper price.
yeah, I use Streamlabs, and I used to pay for it for the year. I think it was only like $160, but
Hmm.
I pay $17 a month for Streamlabs, and I have so much there, and it's kind of like a cursor to OBS. So, um, it has borders, it has everything else that I can use, and I don't mind it. I like it. Um,
Okay.
so And like I said, I pay $17 a month for that, and I can do as many shows as I want. And I can back them up on my computer, and it also holds them for me for a very long time.
Yeah, this does the same thing. I just uh, I haven't really had no problems except only a couple of people that can't join because they have connection issues. My sisters have the same problem as Sister Cynthia. You
Yeah.
know,
Well, and a lot of
there's
times
been a couple of people. What do you
it's
think that is? Is it because they're using their phones?
I think it's because they're using their phones. Yeah. If they used, because remember when Jesse would use his tablet
Yeah,
and it was all good. But when he uses his phone, sometimes he comes across muffled or, has problems. It'll cut in and out. But when he used to sit still and use his tablet, he didn't have as many problems when he used his tablet.
yeah,
So if you have a tablet or a laptop or your desk, because like I use a PC, I have a big PC. I can use also probably my laptop too that I bought because I bought another laptop. I bought a bigger one, but I use it mainly just to look things up and do stuff like that. I think one day I'm gonna hook it up to my printer. That way I can print paperwork out that I need. But right now I just don't have room for it anywhere on my desk. I have a brand new printer. I used it for a little while, and then I stopped using it, and apparently all my ink dried up, so I need to get new ink for it. And then I
yeah.
think I want to set it up and use it with my laptop, not my computer itself,
So
just
do
my
you go
laptop.
shopping or you order a lot of stuff online?
Um, it all depends on what it is. Like, um, my daughter ordered most of my computer stuff online. My microphone, because I have a streaming microphone. Um, when my daughter does it, my daughter spends, like, my microphone cost like almost $180 for my microphone, and then she ordered me my second screen, um, and different stuff. So, but a lot of times I'll just go to the store and pick it up.
See, I got a microphone here too.
Yeah.
I really don't use it. I could use it. I even have a sound maker and everything.
Well, you
But
have
maybe one
a
day I'll figure it out how to connect it and use it. I don't know.
do
I just, hmm?
you use a laptop?
Yeah,
Well, just keep in mind that when you try to use that, because your laptop comes with an automatic microphone in it, so in order to use your regular microphone, you have to make sure that your microphone on your laptop is muted. You
yeah,
you have to you have to mute that, or you're going to come through both, and that's a pain in the butt. You're sitting here trying to figure it out.
yeah.
Like,
I got the microphone. I got the light and everything. They gave it to me because then I like doing this little shows,
yeah.
podcast, spiritual and Diddy encrypted encounters. I gotta get used to saying that. Spiritual and Diddy encrypted encounters. Spiritual and Diddy encrypted encounters.
Well, I have one of these really nice, and I've had it for a while. I've got a really nice webcam, and for a while there, I was getting an echo and couldn't figure out where it was coming from with my microphone. And then somebody told me, "What kind of webcam do you have?" So I went through and I told them, and they're like, "On your webcam, you have a microphone. You have to turn it off." And I was like, "What?" And I mean, I had to go through all kinds of crap just to be able to turn that off. But I have a nice webcam. I don't have any problems with it, other than when Restream decides that it doesn't want me to use it. But I think I fixed that problem now.
Yeah, I
And
try to give it like a different look in the background, with the
yeah,
minerals and stuff like that.
that looks nice.
Yeah. This is very. It's just I need to work on that right there when somebody comes in through
Well,
there, so I won't be able to capture them. Like right now, it'll work like this. Like it's
I'm very partial to curio cabinets that have the lights in them. I love them. We have a desk that is out in Jack's room, and it's got cabinets where it's open, but they're on glass platforms, and there's a big light up there. And when you light it up, it's very pretty.
all the
Yeah.
minerals, spheres. I got all kinds of minerals in there.
I'm so glad they're not too heavy for the shelving in there, and it doesn't all fall down.
They're pretty strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I haven't even finished doing nothing. Putting all the minerals up. I'm taking a break.
Yeah. Do you is your laptop hardwired to your internet box, or do you use the Wi-Fi?
Wi-Fi.
Um, you also would get better service if you ran a hardwire from your box to your laptop too, because that's what I had to do with my computer. My laptops are on Wi-Fi, but my main computer is hard drive. I have it plugged in there. I bought a big long cord and I ran it across and around the bottom of the baseboard to my computer itself. So I have
Yeah,
less problems now.
the service I got is pretty works pretty good. I got a Astound. Was it Astound?
Spectrum?
They call Astound, which used to be Grande,
Oh,
and they got a pretty good deal, like $60 that I pay, and it's pretty the best internet that they got, and it works pretty good. It's just I really haven't had any problems with it.
I get the only problem I get is every now and then because I have two boxes. I've got my regular internet and then I've got the Wi-Fi router. And every now and they're hooked together also. So every now and then I have to do a reset on it and let it cycle through and reset itself. When the TV starts running slow or in the other room it starts running bad, we have to do a reset on everything. And that a
Yeah,
lot of times when I get kicked off in the middle of the night, that's why. So it'll kick itself off and I'll have to do a reset. And then usually I'll just lay down and go to sleep while I'm waiting for it to
yeah.
fix itself.
You can download an app for the thing. It's called Eero,
Oh,
and if your internet is running a certain way, you could reset it through here.
oh, oh,
So it's pretty good service. Um, I can see everything. If there's anything going wrong, I can see if I'm having any problems where the connections are,
yeah.
and I can always go and just hit a button here without resetting the whole system, and it'll get it back in line. That's a good thing about it.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty neat. Huh.
So I have the main box. Then I have another box that's sitting over here in the other living room, but it covers the whole house. Covers the whole house, and then even in the backyard, it covers over there. We have good connection back then. Back there, we have another little house in the back. It's like a one bedroom. Then it's like a one bedroom. Then it's got the garage. It's got a garage. So yeah, we got a pretty.
It
God bless us with a pretty good place here. Uh,
and it your Wi-Fi. Now my Wi-Fi, I can take my laptop into my backyard and sit back there with it. My Wi-Fi
mhm.
usually works pretty good out there. Um, Even in the front yard, if I get too far away, I'll know it because it'll start going down a little bit, and then I come back. But in my backyard, it works just fine. I used to do that at night during the summertime. We didn't have any rain. I would take my old laptop out there and just sit there and be online outside. My neighbors thought I was crazy because I'd have a headset in and I would be on there talking to people. They thought I was outside talking to myself.
Yeah, another thing, my son is a gamer, and he hasn't had no problems like
That's
with
good.
gaming or nothing. When we had AT&T, we had all kinds of problems with AT&T.
Yeah, I use
Hey,
Spectrum, and like I said,
yeah,
it works really good. And
and
trust me, I
Spectrum
paid for it.
was giving us problems too, so we we got astounded. It works real good, actually.
I keep getting stuff in the mail for that bright speed, whatever it is, and it's a lot cheaper than Spectrum, but
Fiber optic.
yeah, it's fiber. Um, but I don't know if we have any fiber next to us or not. Because as far as I know about that, you have to be in an area where they've actually laid the fiber for you to do that. But they also want you to buy your equipment outright and to use. And it's like, they give you a coupon for $200 off. Well, if you're giving me $200 off, how expensive is your equipment? I'm like, no, it's okay. I'll stick with this one. And then if I ever have to replace the boxes, I just take them down there and they give me new ones, and I bring them home and plug them back in. It's just easier for me that way. My my landlord used to have T-Mobile. Um, Now I've got their service as far as a phone, but she had their internet out here and it was horrible. I was
Yeah,
like, yeah, I won't. You know what? That's for cell phones. I'm going to stick to internet places for the internet.
uh, with uh, with T-Mobile, get free Netflix, and I get some game that we could play for free.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
T-Mobile,
How are you getting free Netflix on your phone?
yeah, through the service.
I pay $8 a month from them and I don't get free.
It
Wait a
gave it to us
minute.
as part of the deal that I locked into.
Well, I'm gonna have to go talk to them
Yeah, when we
because
got the when because we came from what was it,
Metro
uh,
PCS.
from Verizon.
Oh,
We jumped over to them, to T-Mobile. We left
yeah.
Verizon for
I,
T-Mobile because I was paying a lot in Verizon. Paying for the phones, $200 and something dollars, and the service sucked.
yeah,
It was dropping calls, and I couldn't even go to the store, and I would lose connection. It was bad.
yeah.
They had me
I I like
they had
I
me
like
hooked up
it.
to an old tower, a 4G tower instead of a 5G
Yeah,
for
I
about
well,
3 years. I
I
was like,
keep
screw that.
my phones. I've gone into my settings and my phones. I keep them on 4G, and I don't use the 5G. I don't need it. It's all the same. But I uh I like T-Mobile for phone service, even though it cost me like $55 a month. But I like them for service. I have never had a problem anywhere and everywhere I go. I've had them for about 6 years,
They have the most
and
towers,
yeah,
T-Mobile, because they're
I
partnered up with Cricket, I believe.
yes,
They partner up, and
yeah.
so they have a lot of towers.
But they did tell me, like I said, they sent me a message telling me that my phone is beyond to the point where if anything happens, they have to fix it, and I need to upgrade my phone. So I'm gonna have to. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in and see if I can get away with getting a new phone, um, and keeping my old one, and then just leaving my old one here on Wi-Fi. That way, I don't have to download all of the stuff that I have on my phone to the new phone. And I will not get an iPhone. I don't care. Pull my teeth. I do not like iPhones. I've had them before. You have to pay for anything and everything extra that you got to put on your phone. I do not like them. No, I'll stick with my other ones. I don't like iPhones. So yeah. But let's see, where are you at? You are fixing to hit the 2 hour mark there,
Yeah,
Abe.
I think
Look
I'm
at
going to call it a
you.
night. I want to
Yep.
say not unless somebody's got some questions for Sister Brenda and me. I know I was talking about a lot of things, but I
Yeah.
was talking about things of the past. That's not who I am right now. I'd rather maintain my heavenly love foundation, brother and sisters. When you've been through a rough life, and you've been on both sides of the balance. I'll tell you what, it feels a lot greater having a love foundation than having hatred or anger or vengeance,
Duval
because that
says, I don't.
makes you have
Duval,
a black heart.
yeah. Duval says, I don't know who sent the storms to Arkansas, but y'all can come and get them. You can take them back. Yeah, we had them. It's fixing to rain tomorrow, Abe, again.
Lerny says that he has a landline if people want to call.
A landline?
Regular, house
Yeah,
phone.
yeah. I know. Nobody gets those anymore.
Well,
I thought about
there's some
having one.
services that have landlines for
Oh,
the
yeah.
houses.
Spectrum even has one where you can get a landline for your house. But well, I wouldn't even know where to put a phone. I'd have to mount it to the wall. But yeah. But all right, Abe. Well, I'm going to get off of here so you can wrap it up and spend the rest of your Saturday night relaxing. And
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
I'm
But thank you,
probably
Sister Brenda, for jumping on here.
going to make me a little something to eat and finish watching this movie, and then I'm probably going to go to bed. So,
All right,
but
sister.
all right, Abe. Good night.
Good night, and God bless you.
God bless you too. Everybody, don't forget to hit the like button.
Yeah, you live and you learn. You know, I ain't getting any younger, folks. I don't know how long I'm gonna be doing this, but so long I have a breath in me and the Heavenly Father continues to bless me, I'll try to continue to do this. And I want to see what I do. I want to do different things. It's just I noticed that I'm thinking that I'm because I'm not monetized, or I'm not trying to do any of those things, that they keep me limited. Only that certain viewers that share me like they used to share me before. So I know I might try to juggle a couple of things, like sometimes do the lives here, try to do lots off my phone, see if I could work on the algorithm, maybe do some lives during the day. I don't know, trying to do different things. But it's saying that, thank you everybody that tuned in here tonight, on this supposed to be a surprise live just to see who was going to show up, to all the late night owls. But I just want to say thank you. God bless every single one of y'all. Maintain your Heavenly Love Foundation and continue to do the good works that you do, brothers and sisters. Make a positive change in this world. Uh, in saying that, good night, everybody. God bless you all. This is Brother Ipsias. Saransias signing off. A spiritual encrypted encounter. Spiritual and DDN cryptid encounters. Let me get that correct. Spiritual and DDN cryptid encounters. Good night, everybody. Peace out.